Hi everybody, this is Jim with YouTube user Jim Lee Elevators. And today, I like to talk about some of the top 10 vintage elevators that were lost since I've started YouTube over the past 5 years. And I basically seen a couple of elevator enthusiasts who has basically quit filming elevators because a lot of their favorite old vintage elevators from where they live have been modernized, ripped out, demolished, and replaced. Like people like Patrick Neds, for example. According to Julian, which also known as Floridian Elevators, a lot of his favorite elevator in the downtown Pittsburgh area, such as the Investment Building and the Cathedral of Learning, have all been modernized, and that basically has really stressed him out enough that got him to quit his elevator thing. And it's basically very sad, very shaming, and stuff like that. So the way I'm gonna start the top 10 list is gonna go in order, one by one, from place to place I've seen on YouTube since like around early 2010, and places that I've seen in person over quite a long time that has really mean so much to me, and then over several years later it was already gone. So with that being said, let's get started. Okay, so this is a list of places that originally have their old elevators that were all gone. And I will also copy this into the video description down below. And links will also be provided in each places with the elevators that used to be there before they were all gone. So we are going to first start off with the Four Seasons Hotel. This is the hotel I have been to in person, and they have some Otis Lexan high-rising traction elevators. And that basically was my very first Otis Lexan elevator I've been on, and I have been to this hotel since early 2007. And I had so much memories on those elevators, and in 2014 they were modernized with Otis again. Now the mod on the Four Seasons Hotel elevators in general did not bother me too much, because what really was nice is they left the cabs original but replaced rest of the electronics, but they left the original cabs and everything like that. But what really saddens me the most is that I was unfortunately not able to get parts, because by the time I went there, the call stations were already replaced and stuff. And according to the Otis elevator technician, they were out of elevator parts. Like I said, they already replaced the call stations. Sorry about that. My computer just went to sleep for a sec. So that is what basically saddens me. But like I said, the mod in general did not, but getting elevator parts, yes, it saddened me because I did not get it. And the reason why, like I said, those elevators were very sentimental, and that basically was my very first Otis Lexan elevator I've been on since 2007. Next is Macy's in downtown Pittsburgh. Macy's opened in 1887 as, I believe, one of the first Macy's department stores in America, or in the US. And about 2 years ago, Macy's closed and was all demolished. I have never been to this store in my entire life. They have some 1953 Otis Autotronic elevators with the square touch buttons on the CLP, and the call station had the triangle square touch buttons. No, the triangle buttons, I'm sorry. The triangle touch buttons for the call station, which I'll show you. See, this is what it looks like, the triangle call stations. Honestly, I have never seen a call station like this in my entire life. The only ones remaining I know of is at the Colorado Plaza 2 in Denver, Colorado, which those were installed in 1957. And according to Nathan, which is known as Elevating Denver, the staff told them that they have no plans to modernize the high-rise elevator. So that's a good thing, and I hope that is still there when I go to Denver next time. Which hopefully I get to go to Denver sometimes and check out these beauties. I have watched the Macy's downtown Pittsburgh video since 2010 when Andrew went. And according to Patrick Neds, he used to visit there a lot of times, and a lot of these staff members were so friendly to him and whatnot. And it's just big of a shame that it's all gone and destroyed. And according to Julian, the elevators there are all ripped out and so on. Now, next is Roosevelt Field. Oh my gosh. The 1993 Dover glass elevators with the traditional fixtures that has a Chewbacca sounding motor that was loud and epic. That, I have to say, has been a massive loss because those were the well-known elevators in the community that was so sentimental. And according to Liam Mangler and Julian, which is known as Floridian Elevators, YouTube user I Hate Escalators rode those elevators ever since they were installed, or the year was installed, and those basically were one of his very most memorable childhood elevators he's ever ridden, and it's so heartbreaking on him that those were ripped out. And to all of us, these elevators, the Chewbacca Dover elevators, like I said, were very sentimental to all of us in the community. And it's such a big shame that those were ripped out, completely gone. Nothing was left. Completely ripped out, all gone. I can't believe they ripped these beauties out, and since I cannot believe they ripped these beauties out, I'm just a loss of words. I'm sorry, guys, but I have to say, but the Dover Chewbacca elevators were a big piece of a memory to us. So yeah, Roosevelt Field, big loss, big time. Now comes to Cathedral of Learning. Sadly, I've never been there either because I had no plans going to Pittsburgh, but it was really sad that those awesome Westinghouse Select-O-Matic elevators that has the very rare vandal-resistant fixtures, which it looked like this. See, this is what they have. And they were already extinct, and sadly, I have never been on any type of vintage elevators with these type of fixtures. I really wish I could, but sadly, I never get the chance to. But thankfully, these parts are saved in the Elevators Museum that Andrew Reams has right now. So that's better than having none. But still, it's a big of a shame that these were gone from the Cathedral of Learning. But sadly to tell you, they absolutely do need the modernization, because from what I heard, the Westies over there are already wearing itself out, and it's like showing its age. While it's showing its age, but the real reason is because it was breaking down and having glitches. So these sadly do need the mod, and while they absolutely do need a modernization, it's still sad that these fixtures are all gone, because these type of buttons are extinct as of today. And like I said, I have never ridden a Westinghouse with these type of buttons, so what a shame that is. Now, next is the Ritz-Carlton in Chicago. I have basically watched videos of these since 2008 or 2009, and in 2016, I finally got to visit that place. And by the time I visited in spring of 2016, they have just started modernizing their elevators. They already have one elevator out of service and in the process of modernization, which that is the luggage elevator. But rest of the elevators were completely untouched. And I am so glad that I got to ride the Otis touch sensitive elevators, and that hotel was so beautiful. And while Otis did the modernization, I sadly have to tell you that they have done a big, heavy, massive renovation, and they just finished it earlier this year, because when I was riding the Otis Autotronic elevators from 1975, and I'm pretty sure you've seen my video I took last year and a half ago. When I reached up to the 30th floor, or I think it's the 31st floor, I can't really remember, they already started boarding up the entire hallways and stuff, and they have already started doing renovations onto the top floor. So that is basically how I found out that the renovation has started this massive. And they even got rid of the fountains and also ripped out the shuttle elevator from what I heard. I mean, I think the shuttle elevator is already ripped out, the one that goes to the pool with the Otis Lexan. But they did rip out the fountain and everything, so that has been quite a bit of a sad loss. The Ritz-Carlton Chicago, the entire beauty is all gone. And then next is Saks Fifth Avenue at the Galleria Mall in Houston, Texas. The 1992 Montgomery elevators. At first I thought it was a Montgomery Kone, but until somebody looked it up, and it was built in 1992, so it was a Montgomery elevator, not Montgomery Kone. So basically this is the elevator I have been on ever since I was a kid. Not actually a kid. I've actually ridden on this elevator since I was in 6th grade. So that was like in 2009. And in 2016, the old Saks Fifth Avenue has moved to a different location. And the former Saks has been demolished, and the Montgomery Kone elevator and the Montgomery elevators have all been ripped out. And tell you this, that Montgomery elevator had an epic sounding motor, and I've been listening to that motor since 2009, so that has basically been some of a big childhood on me. And yes, it does have the Innovation Universal fixtures that I dislike, but besides the fixtures, I love the epic motor, and it's such a sad shame that these were ripped out, because this was definitely another big sentimentality on me. So yeah, but what I'm really thankful for is I got a final take of it before it was gone. So that's a good thing. Next is the Handlery Union Square, the 1960s Otis Lexan service elevator at the Handlery. Julian has actually filmed there. Well, before that, I have actually watched El Pal JL's videos, and basically he seems to love that elevator so much, and I can tell how sentimental that service elevator was to him. So anyways, like I said, the Handlery Union Square modernized the service elevator along with the rest of the passenger elevators. And thankfully, Julian has got a final take of it when he went to San Francisco in June of 2016. But by the time I went in July, they have already ripped the equipment out on the service elevator, so it was basically already too late for me to ride. So that has been basically another one of the saddest loss, because I can clearly hear the generators hissing, and like I said, that video I think I watched it since 2009 or 2010, I'm not exactly sure, but like I said, that Otis Lexan service elevator was definitely sentimental to El Pal JL from what I heard. Next is the investment building with the Otis pop-out button, is what I just heard about this year. They have already started getting rid of the Otis pop-out elevators. The investment building in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and like I tell you, I've never been there, so you know what I mean. And I'll show you what the Otis pop-out button looks like. If I could find the arrow. Alright, it's loading. See, this is what I mean, the Otis pop-out. According to what the guy told me at Buffalo City Hall, when the elevator reaches to the very top or bottom floor, that button pops right out. And just to tell you, I have never ridden on any Otis pop-out button elevators in my whole entire life. What really is the most surprising part is so many people in the elevator community, including Julian, also known as Florida in Elevators, got to ride his first Otis pop-out button. And the ones I'm well familiar that is still there is at the Bristol Financial Center, the Tacoma Road Center in Tacoma, Washington, and the Signet building. I think that's how I say it right, Signet or Signet. That is in Colorado Springs, Colorado. So hopefully I'm able to see an Otis pop-out button elevator because these things are becoming super extinct. And according to Julian, it's going to be extinct by 2020. So I'm going to have to find an Otis pop-out before 2020 because like I said, they're all going to be gone. And that is going to be a big, deep impact onto my interest. So hopefully I get to see an Otis pop-out elevator. All you have to do, guys, is to please keep me in your prayers that I be able to find this. And hopefully God will give me some sort of a miracle with this type of elevator. Oh, and forgot to mention, the investment building was one of the first Otis Autotronic elevators ever installed because according to Jared, or I'm not sure if it's accurate, it was installed in 1948. Next is the Crowne Plaza, Niagara Falls. I'm not sure if I really watched the black button Otis elevator video since a long time, but I did watch the main elevator videos for quite a long time too, but that's not the case. The real case is the Otis black button elevator that's located in the penthouse. And I'm pretty sure y'all know about that video because I uploaded that video last month ago. They used to have an Otis black button elevator, and according to Matty Ice 0812, they had no plans on modernizing, but by the time I went there, it was already gone. But thankfully, Matt, also known as Matty Ice 0812, did not tell me that ahead of time, because if he did and I went that was already gone, I'll be completely infuriated. And I already was, because I cannot believe that the Crowne Plaza Niagara Falls has changed their minds, saying that they had no plans modernizing in the first place, and then they decide to get rid of them like later on. So it was like right after I visited there in Niagara Falls, about few days later, Matty Ice 0812 told me that. So if it was, like I said, if it was the opposite, then that would have been much worse. Now, last but not least, Buffalo City Hall. In case if you guys are wondering, I went to Buffalo City Hall about 2 months ago on my way to the airport from Toronto. And yes, I got to ride the Otis touch-sensitive elevators. I got to ride the manually controlled Otis freight elevator. And I'm pretty sure y'all know about the Otis signal control. If you search it up in the search box on YouTube, just search Buffalo City Hall Otis signal control elevator. You'll see that video from Jimster 586 and Up and Down Adventures. Speaking of the Otis signal control, according to what that guy told me, the high-rising Otis signal control is probably gonna be modernized, which I'm gonna give you a preview. And please listen closely to what the guy says about the Otis signal control, because I've actually saw the low-rising Otis signal control elevator, which that one was decommissioned. Okay, now listen closely to what that guy said, and you see what I mean.
I thought there was like only one.
All right, listen closely.
Well, pretty soon this will be the only one that we have because all of the elevators have been on this side have all been modded and brought up to date.
Oh.
Well, you know what that means, right? Oops. Sorry, this is blocking the way, but you see that, right? Well, you guys proved it. You guys proved why I chose Buffalo City Hall as the one of the top 10 losses. So stay tuned for that video. It's going to be uploaded within the next few weeks or so. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Share your thoughts and feedbacks in the comments below. Share your opinions you want, but please keep it appropriate. Do not be offensive, and please no cuss words either. So that was basically the top 10 lists of awesome old vintage elevators gone. If you want to see old vintage elevators, you got to do it soon, because the next 5 or 10 years, they're all going to be gone. And sorry that I showed you that Buffalo City Hall video through my phone. I normally edit it, but because the video editor closed down, there is no way I'm able to edit videos with any good quality editing softwares. The reason why I'm doing this with my phone is because I have iMovie in it, and that's the only worth video editing software that I have, and I'm not able to sync any videos through my camera that I took, so I'm gonna have to do the best I can. So I ask that you please pray for me that I'll get a good video editing software within the next few weeks or month or stuff like that, hopefully before Christmas break. So anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and that'll be it. Bye, everyone.